What's up, everybody? We're back with AASLR. How's it going? I'm here with David, and I have no idea how to say your last name, David.
It's Quartarolo. It's kind of a hard one, but my family's more Olive Garden Italian than straight off the boat Italian at this point. So if you miss,
Quartarolo.
perfect,
Okay,
perfect.
I'm gonna stumble on that. I'm sorry.
That's fair because I definitely can't say your last name. So
Oh yeah, okay. My last name is Poirier. If you say it the American way, if you want to go a little French, it's Poirier.
Poirier. Well, that's not
Poirier.
too
Yeah,
Poirier.
Poirier. Yeah,
Not bad.
that works.
Not
But
bad.
we're not here to talk about last names. We're here to talk about a smudge tool, uh, which is a weird name for a tool, but David's going to tell you all about it, and I'm going to let him take over. But before I do, there is a one note I need to say is we are in a different chat channel on our Discord. So if you're over on the BHIS Discord, you're going to see that I've got a note there saying we're on the Antisyphon Discord now for chat coming from Antisyphon. And I'm going to put the link here in this chat, uh, which will be weird if you're in that Discord already. But there it is for the people on YouTube's and the Twitches. So you can get to our Antisyphon Discord. And now I'm going to hand it over to you, David. I'm going to give you your screen and disappear, or at least my video. I'll still be here. But
I
you ready
appreciate
to
that,
go?
Ryan. I'm ready to go.
All right.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm excited to be here today to talk about Smudge. Smudge is a passive fingerprinting tool, and we're going to talk a little bit about fingerprinting. But I wanted to give a quick background on how the tool came to be. Um, Last year, I was hanging out in Chris Brennan's Threat Hunter class, which is fantastic. And Chris is in chat. It's fantastic you're watching. And he gave a quick shout out looking for an intern or somebody to work on an integration to Bill Stern's tool Passer. And I hit him up right in Discord, and we started on this project together. And it's been fantastic. What a great journey the last couple of months have been. So I am excited to get going. So I'm going to do a quick overview for everybody who doesn't know a ton about fingerprinting. So just real quick, active fingerprinting, operating system fingerprinting, is looking at packets and analyzing a response that were actually sent to a target. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time going into this, but if you're using the -uppercase O option, the flag on Nmap, you are going to get some fingerprinting data back. But not only is Nmap and EtherCap's signature database pretty small at this point and definitely outdated, you're sending a lot of traffic across the network. And that's really bad if you're trying to be quiet. You're definitely going to get picked up on an IDS IPS. Over on the right hand of the screen, I was just playing around with it, and I wanted to see how much traffic's actually sent over, and it's a lot more than I remembered. It's pretty significant. So passive fingerprinting is the exact opposite. So we're sniffing network traffic, and hopefully the target that we're looking for is going to come across our stream. And definitely our predecessor P0F has been the king of this space for a really long time. So a big shout out to Mikhail Zalewski. He is a fantastic figure in the security space. I don't want to take anything away from his awesome tool. He just came out with a new book, Practical Doomsday. So if you want to check that out, it's more of a preparation type book. It's not really infosec, but it's a pretty awesome read. He isn't really maintaining P0F anymore, so there's a lot more room for new tools like Smudge to be introduced. So when we talk about signatures, I wanted to talk a little bit about what a signature is and how how we're reading it and what it's about. So we have a format that came straight from the P0F tool, and it is a pretty straightforward, except for one big change. So there's the typical things that you would expect that getting directly from a TCP packet. Things like the IPv6 version, the initial time to live, the options length, maximum segment size and window size, and then an options layout. But the big thing that I wanted to talk about, options layout's a little bit more nuanced. Not going to talk about that too much. Most of that stuff's pretty straightforward. But the quirks is something that not a lot of people have really looked at before. So our quirks option are really going to talk about specific behaviors that we're seeing on the network that aren't always they're not always looked at by network or security professionals. These aren't typical things that you'd recognize important things to the characteristics of the network. But these are giving us a lot of hints. These play in to one of the biggest parts of our profiling, and it's very useful to see them in action. So Smudge is Smudge was created as the integration to Passer. So I just talked to Bill earlier today, and he's working on that as we speak. I'm really excited to see that put into place. But we decided to spin it off so I can have a little bit of a faster dev cycle and have separate testing. We also put it on PyPy, which makes it very easy to install on your laptop, especially if you're on a distribution of Linux that's not using apt, which is typically how P0F is distributed. But P0F isn't a bad tool. It's just not being updated frequently. The signatures are in text files, which makes reading them a little bit slower. Smudge uses a database technology and makes it just significantly faster to read. And we're easy to integrate in other Python projects. And thanks to Chris, yeah, I just opened up an issue for that. Thank you, Malachi. I definitely know about that. My Python packaging skills are still being put to the test. So I just closed a GitHub issue on that. And when we release version 103, it's the long version, the PDF is going to be right there on PyPy. But I definitely appreciate the feedback. And thanks to Chris and everybody over at ACM, Smudge is being actively developed. So if there are issues or features that are needed, please open up an issue on our GitHub page. I'm going to see it right away, and I'll be happy to take a look at it and figure out if we can get it in the tool. So we're really excited. There is a separate GitHub repo for our there's a separate GitHub repo for our signatures. We're actively maintaining it. We're not looking for pull requests over there yet, but we're definitely looking for suggestions on any other signatures that are needed, or if anybody's looking for something specific. So please star those GitHub repos and get your issues and feature requests in. I'd love to get people using this tool so we can figure out what else is needed on it. So real quick, I just have a tiny diagram before I demo this tool out. It is a real quick. So every time you run Smudge, it pulls all the signatures down from GitHub and puts them into a SQLite database. It's really, really quick. It takes only a couple seconds. And then when the packets are either taken in through reading a packet capture, or we're sniffing it out over a network interface, the signature engine generates a signature from the packet. It gets matched, and then it displays the output. So pretty quick. because we're using SQLite 3, this thing's really fast. We've included some options to pause the output a little bit, just because it displays so quickly. But we're really excited about it, and can't wait to see it integrated into Passer. So right before I demo it, I just want to thank. I stole Eric Conrad's PCAP from Shadow Brokers off the internet. So I wanted to. I know it's open source, but I want to give him a shout out. I took his SANS course. He's fantastic. And then certainly can't talk enough about Bill Stearns. I love that guy. He's been so great to work with over the last couple months, and he definitely has been such a huge impact on getting this tool out. So without so much more ado, let me pull out the terminal window. And I want to note, I'm going to be just reading from a PCAP today because I'm scared of upsetting the demo gods, and I don't want to introduce too much complexity into the stream. But Python packaging is installed into your user space. So unless you configure it differently, by default, your root is going to have a different installation of packages than your user is. So if you're using sudo or something else to run commands as a different user, you're going to have to install it in that user space as well. So if you pip install Smudge and then run sudo and it's not working because the package isn't there, that's what's going on. Because it's distributed in Python, I'm going to use the -m to run a module, which is very convenient. So immediately after installation, you could just use -m, so you don't have to worry about aliases or where this thing's installed at. And I'm going to read an example file. And this is Eric Conrad's. This is a Shadow Broker file. It runs really quickly. But you can see this one's a little bit boring, but the output is just almost exactly like P0F. It's, we try to be very similar. It's a great footprint for kind of displaying this forensic information. So right now we're only matching on SYN packets because that's a use case that Bill had, but the engine can match on any sort of traffic that's needed. So in the future, please look out for added functionality and looking at profiling different types of packets. We're definitely going to be looking at getting that in pretty soon. So this one was a little bit boring just because there's really not a lot of traffic, but because we're looking at the PCAP file, it's pretty safe to run. We're not introducing any kind of, Chris is saying syntax are much harder than SYNs. It's very true. That's why we did not start there. But it's something I'm certainly looking into and trying to get more information on how to do it properly. So I do want to show off. Bill gave me a much bigger PCAP file that will hopefully show running Smudge on a server or somewhere on the internet where you're getting a lot more traffic. It is. I'm reading chat. It's a lot bigger, but I'm going to just stop it because this is a couple gigs big. But it's pretty awesome. We're getting a lot of matches from. We were able to build in. We were able to build in a lot of great signatures from mobile devices, all major operating systems, and a lot of newer tablets and smartphones and whatnot. So we're looking to add in whatever is needed, but it works great, and I'm looking forward to adding more features. So if unless anybody has any more questions or comments, that's basically it for me, Ryan.
Well, that was pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm really bad at gauging the time of these things. I wrote like an hour about how passive fingerprinting works, and I know everybody is on their way home, and I'm probably burnt out for the day. But I wanted to show off the tool, get everybody over to the GitHub repo, starring it, checking it out, and please open up issues. If anybody's out there, please break this thing. Give me some issues to fix and work on. Will Smudge work with live monitoring or packets only? That's a great question, NC Cyber Threat Hunter. It certainly works just like P0F. It will read directly from your network interface. I actually if you're still looking at my screen, I wrote in. This is a proper command line tool, so it has a help. I wrote in an option to list out the available interfaces that it has access to, and you just if you exclude the interface option, it will read from all interfaces. It's built on Scapy, so that's Scapy's default behavior. And if you want to use a specific interface, the -i lowercase I option. Hope that answers your question, but certainly will do live monitoring and run right off your network interface, which
Yeah.
gives a lot of options for doing things like getting traffic directly off of a server, or assume it's outputting the standard out. So output is greppable. Output is certainly greppable. I initially wanted to do this as kind of a dashboard style with like an interactive um, command line tool, feeling like the old Norton Commander or Midnight Commander or something like that. But I opted to go to standard output and not mess with anything because grep is so important to a lot of us. One of the things that I will be adding pretty soon is a filter option, so you can just put your packet filters directly in line in the commands. But yeah, grep definitely works on this. But yeah, that's a great question. But please check it out. There's a lot of home server questions going on in the chat right now, and I just want to geek out about my home lab stuff. But I think can the results be piped into a long file? Yes. So they certainly can. We tested that functionality. I'm definitely in my dev cycle, I'm definitely going to put an option to write this directly to a file, but this will absolutely be able to be redirected into a log file. A JSON format at some point, so we can pull it into elk or similar would also be cool. Yeah, I'm gonna write that down. That's a great point. I am a blue teamer during my day job, and I certainly work with Elasticsearch. So I could definitely make an elk compatible JSON log file if that helps you guys out. Oh, that's Chris. Oh, yeah. Chris, sorry, I wasn't reading. I was just reading the question. Chris, I'll take care of that. That's not a big deal. That's something really easy to do.
Good questions, guys.
Chris, I'm writing it down. This is great. Y'all provide a presentation so far-fetched with endless, but it doesn't provide a clear guide map. That is not a question for me.
I think that's for the home lab question.
Yeah. If it's not documented, it didn't or won't happen. I'm not sure what the context of that is, Malachi, but I'm pretty sure you're still talking about. I'm not going to. Home lab question, perfect. I'm not gonna like redivert this conversation to a career path because I I was a network engineer and then a QA engineer and then a DevOps engineer. And now I'm a security engineer that writes code for Chris and active countermeasures on the side. I'm not a good person to ask about career goals. But I think there are a lot of other people here in the Black Hills community that could probably help you out if you're looking for more of a thing. I do want to shout out Shelby though. Shelby created this shirt, and she was nice enough to send me one. This is the new AC Hunter staff shirt. Really great artwork, and really happy with this shirt. I completely forgot to shout her out on that.
I'm gonna paste another home lab video that maybe you can get more info from. This is a little bit older, but it's from Bill Stearns about building a home lab.
Does Smudge need full packet captures, or will work with a read a log file? So right now we're only doing full packet captures. Unfortunately, read a log files don't have the information in them that we need, as far as I know. But I can definitely take a look. I'm pretty sure that's more of read a logs or Zeek logs, so I don't think we'll be able to do that one, unfortunately. Sorry about that. NC Cyber Threat Hunter. I do wanna call out though, on January 19th, I'm doing another webcast on Ansible. Ansible is an awesome way to get some automation chops for your home lab or your security career or your IT career. So yeah, Chris is saying at least not by default. Yeah, that's definitely fair. But January 19th, it's on the Black Hills Infosec. I think it's on the it's on the Antisyphon calendar. Please check that out. That's going to be a much more fundamental video about getting your hands dirty with. Any thoughts on the Seed Studio NAS server? I'm taking home lab questions, I guess. He
really wants to know about home labs.
Man, I want to take this offline with you, man, because I have lots of home lab stuff that I deal with. Thanks, OG Captain Crunch. Certainly don't have thoughts on that specific NAS server. But in my opinion, there's not too many NASs. We get bogged down with all these features and all this crazy stuff. I wouldn't worry about something that has lots of features. I'd worry about something that that's functional. So I'll shoot you a message after this. I am Dominator in Discord. Could you?
I'm going to put the link to Discord in the chat again, because the comments are I don't know if I can say D Tavenir. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but you are on YouTube, and it's easier to do discussion after we're offline on Discord. So there's a link to our Discord server, and I can give you as well the multitasking, pardon me, the link to the BHIS Discord server, where there's also a lot of people who know a lot of things about setting things up, and your your home lab questions and any other questions could be answered in there. I cannot multitask very well.
That's all right. I'm actually looking to see if we had a specific channel for home lab stuff.
I'm looking for the invite link and now I can't find it. I find all the other ones, not the one for the server I want. Well, we'll get it in the chat. If you go in, who gave it to me?
Here it is.
Fish.
Oh, awesome.
Well, if you get to the Antisyphon Discord, we'll get you to the other Discord. It's in that chat. Perfect. Oh, Okay, now I can copy and paste. There we go. Cool.
Sweet. Thanks so much for having me, Ryan. This was a lot of fun, and thanks again to Chris and Bill and the rest of the Active Countermeasures team. I'm having a great time working on this project, and I hope everybody gets over to the GitHub page and checks it out.
Indeed. And thanks guys for jumping onto the new Discord for us over on the Antisyphon Discord and on the BHIS Discord. We're trying some new things with Discord's castles. We'll see how it goes. But I guess that's it for today. If you have any other questions regarding this, yeah, jump in the server. If you're watching the replay, the chat link should still be there. At least for a little while. I'll put the links in the description. I'll remember to do that for the Discord servers. And until next time, thank you all. I'm going to kill it with fire.